Hi there, my name is Maurice, and I've been searching for better beers since the late 70s. I've been looking for beers ever since I discovered that there's better beers than just the standard American industrial lagers. It all started back when I was a student at Wayne State University. We were on a scavenger hunt, and it ended up at a tavern called the Old Tap Room in Detroit, and they had almost 100 beers between what was on tap and what was bottled. There I discovered all kinds of interesting foreign beers that you would never think to be here. So that started me off, and then from there I went to look for better beers. It was rough at the time because there wasn't very many breweries in the U.S., and some of the better beers that came out of the U.S. were Lowenbrau, brewed by Miller, uh, Michelob, a few other beers like that. So mostly foreign beers, and they were a questionable age sometimes. You just never know what you were getting, and then you see dust on the bottles, you know they've been sitting there too long. But I persevered, and then next part of my journey, I went to Northern California with a friend of mine to see his family that were living there. And that's where I discovered Anchor Steam Beer. And it was a real eye-opener that people in this country could brew a beer that good. So I brought home a six-pack, and coincidentally enough, smaller breweries were starting to open up in the Midwest, and particularly Chelsea Real Ale in Chelsea, Michigan. They only lasted a couple years. They had all kinds of financial problems and production problems, but they gave people to see that it was possible. So after that, you've seen other breweries opening up in Michigan, like Bell's and Arcadia and other places. And then beers from other states are coming in, like Sierra Nevada and Sam Adams and Pete's Wicked Ale. Those last two were contract brewed because they were still new, and were able to find regional breweries that had more capacity than they were brewing, and so they're able to sell beers through that system. But eventually, more and more small breweries were opening up and becoming more widely available, and liquor stores were now not only selling liquor and wine, but now they had whole sections for beers. And also, foreign beers were getting fresher because they were moving. More people were drinking them. So we're coming now to the early 90s, and just a huge explosion of brew pubs here in the U.S. And Michigan was no exception. So we were drinking beers from all over the place. And I always try to visit a brewery wherever I was traveling. Then I started home brewing in the mid to late 90s. Even though I do not home brew anymore, it helped me discern beer flavors, ingredients, and whatnot, so I could tell when I'm tasting a beer what exactly the ingredients may be. Then coming in the 2000s, I got a job where I did some traveling. And so from there, I could go to different breweries, brew pubs, and bring home beer. I'd always pack some beer in my suitcase on the way home. And it's always a challenge to find new beers and bring them home undamaged, especially in your suitcase. So there we go into the present now. And lots of breweries have been closing lately, but lots more are still replacing them. The turnover rate still isn't bad. We're still seeing more breweries open up than closing. But, as in all small businesses, small breweries will be closing. So it's just a natural state of things when it comes to small businesses. So my journey will be continuing now with my YouTube channel. And I hope you all follow me and enjoy what I present. And don't be afraid to send me messages or comment. or whatever, because I really am interested in your views, and I hope you're interested in mine. And we will hopefully follow this path together and continue on to find better beer and review it and see what types of beers are really like and what beers to avoid. So thank you very much for listening to me. And as always, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. And I will see you down the road. Thanks.